Hello my friends. So as promised, this is my Paris shopping haul. I ended up buying quite a bit. I didn't mean to, but they're mostly books. I did get a few other things though, so I'm gonna run you through them. I'll just go through chronologically because it just makes sense that way. So first, when we landed, literally that night we went straight to Shakespeare & Co. And I only got one book because, first off, that was kind of my goal. I was trying to only get one book per bookstore because I was planning to go to 7. And so I kind of knew that I couldn't get too many books or they wouldn't fit in my luggage. And also, Shakespeare & Co., just so you know, they do upcharge you. So buying a book there is more expensive than it would be at another bookstore. So I kept it light. I went with Virginia Woolf's To the Lighthouse. This book is a little bit special to me. I got it stamped. They do ask, you don't have to get your book stamped, but I wanted it. I think it's just kind of special. So yeah, so this was my first purchase. And then the next day we went to Smith & Son, the larger one that is near the really big gardens, near the Louvre. And I went with Blood Over Brighthaven. I've heard really, really, really good things about this book, so it's kind of been on my radar, and I figured what I like to do too is when I'm in the UK, I try to get books that I know have different covers in the UK, and I'm pretty sure that this one is specific to the UK, so I wanted to grab it, and I'm excited to read it. I really don't know anything about it other than a lot of the people that I trust for book recommendations have rated it 5 stars, so I'm excited to try it out. And then I also got a new jelly cat. Look at my little croissant. When I was in London, I got a little chippy. It's like a little fry, and so I like to get them when I travel. I think they're adorable. So that was my second purchase. And then we went to Galignani, I think is how you say it. Also, by the way, my French is terrible, so some of these places, or all of the places, I'm going to say incorrectly, but bear with me. So I had actually, at the other 2 bookstores we went for, I was looking for this book because some of my book friends have been raving about it, and so I was gonna buy it anyway, and so I figured, why not buy it in Paris if I can find it, and I did. So that was super exciting. And then next up, Marie and I went over to Montmartre, and there's a really cool an art store that I'd found out about, and I went in and I ended up just walking away with a new sketchbook, which I am really excited about, but I also wanted to find some pens, which I later did. I'll show you this later, but the pens there were insanely expensive, over $20 for a pen, and so I was like, yeah, I can't do that. So I just went with a notebook, and I'm really excited about it. And then next up, I think I skipped a day of shopping, and then the following day we went to the smaller Smith & Son. Honestly, not even on purpose. We were just kind of walking around Marais, and we ran into it, so I was like, well, we gotta go in. And I did end up getting 2 books. I know I said that I was trying to do just one, but Rebecca is a book that I have been wanting to read for at least a year, maybe 2 years. And again, with the covers, I've never seen this cover before, so I was like, well, I have to. And I'm also pretty positive that this author is French, and this is set in the south of France, so I had to get it, clearly. And then I also got The Correspondent, which is also, I know that this is the UK cover, and I've heard really good things about this as well. I want to start reading a little bit more lit fic, actual literature, and so I've heard good things about this, so I grabbed it as well. And my mom, I always try to get her something when I travel, and I asked her what she wanted, and she said either a Christmas ornament or a jelly cat, and so I got her a matching jelly cat. So this is her little croissant. Okay, and then next up, my boyfriend's sister intermittently lives in Paris, and so I had asked her for some recommendations, and when she gave them to me, she also asked me to bring her back a bottle of chartreuse, and so I found it. There's this really cool, it's called Maison du Whisky, and it had 3 levels of different kinds of liquor, and the man there was super, super helpful. Here's the bag. Also, please bear with me, the bags are a little crumpled because I fit them all in my luggage, so they definitely don't look that pretty, but it is what it is. So I got her the chartreuse, and then I got my boyfriend Alex. I was looking for Aubon's Little Bay because I saw Talisker Scotch somewhere that we've been walking around, and I was like, oh my god, maybe they have Aubon, because we can't really get Aubon here, or at least it's super hard, and we really like Aubon's Little Bay, so I asked about it. They had a different 2 other bottles of Aubon, but they didn't have Little Bay, so I was like, nah, that's fine. So I ended up asking the guy if there was any French whiskey, and so he gave me these, and so I know nothing about them, but I think Alex will enjoy them. And speaking of Alex, I also wanted to get some French butter. I heard that you could get this like fancy French butter and then have them vacuum seal it to fly it back with. And so that is what I did. I went to this fancy grocery store. I can't remember the name. I'll put it on the screen. But I went and I got all kinds of flavors. So the top one is just salted with black truffle, and then this one's semi-salted. This one is salt crystals. This one is seaweed. I had to get like a weird one. And then this one is garlic and herb. What I've learned is that it will keep for I think like up to 2 weeks just at room temperature as long as it is vacuum sealed. And then when you bring it home, you can just like freeze it in the vacuum seal for like months if you want. But I have a feeling we're gonna open it up and then give these a try. And then so I found all of that like on my solo explore day, and there was something about that day that was just like, it was a day where everything was just working out really well. Like it just felt like a fantastic day. And I was walking to No Glue to just get like a little snack, and I looked to my left and there was like a custom journal store, and I'd been looking for a new little pen bag to take around with my sketchbook, and I went to Merci. And by the way, that place, like, it's very famous, but oh my god, it's overpriced. Like crazy prices. They had like a little canvas bag that was like over $50 and it was just canvas. But when I found Bookbinders design, they had some little pen pouches, and I asked the guy, I was like, is this real leather? And he's like, oh yeah, like we work with like an Italian leather brand. And so I got this one for only like $30, and it's real leather and it's handmade in France. And so I was super excited. So that was one of my purchases. And then after that, like I said, it was just a day that was kind of just working out for me. I saw this cool girl that had like amazing style, and she was walking towards me, and I noticed that she had a bag, Balzac, and I kept walking straight and I ran into the store, and so I was like, well, I should probably go in. And they had some really cool stuff at very reasonable prices. It's like I don't know if it's technically a designer store, because it's like a lot of their stuff was in just like the hundreds, we're not talking thousands. And I tried a couple things on and I really liked them, and I ended up getting a cute little jumper. It was between this and then like this red one, but I ended up going with this. I love the little scalloped details. It's really hard to see on camera when you're not wearing it, but it's really cute. And then on the inside it's like sweatshirt material, so it's really soft, and yeah, it's really cute. I'm very excited about it. Also, the people there were really helpful. Okay, so the next purchase might be maybe my favorite, just because, so I didn't realize that there's a romance-only bookstore right beside our hotel until like the day before I left, and I thought that most of the books, or really all of the books, were going to be in French. And I walk in to visit because I'm like, I can't not. And it turns out that actually most of the books were in English, which was crazy to me. And so I had to get one. I went to, it was called Gibert. And so I think, well, this one particularly was called Gibert Romance. And so I think it's not a chain, or it might be a chain, I'm really not sure, but they have maybe like different types, because I saw another Gibert bookstore, but it was not romance only. And so I think that this was just like a fun spin-off. And so I went with Behind Closed Doors because Heather McClary at Head's Book Club, she's been raving about this book. I think she rated it like 4.5 stars, and they had it and it's all in English. And so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get that. It's a dark romance. I don't actually know much more about it, but yeah, the cover is not very cute, but apparently the story inside is really good. So that was probably my favorite find, just because it was so, like, that bookstore was not even on my radar, and I thought that that was super cool. Okay, and then I made my way over to this art store. I think that there might be one or two of them around Paris, but this one was really close to the river, the Seine. It's called Sennelier, and they had, well, first off, it was a tiny little store. It was very crowded, not a lot of room to move around in, but I think it's because they're so famous for the quality of their products. Downstairs was more like pastels and paints and stuff like that, and then up on the second floor was more pens and markers. And so I finally got some new pens. So a lot of my pens have dried up, and so I was kind of looking for new ones anyway, and so it was fun to go into a store in Paris and get some. I got like several just like regular pens, but then also they had a lot of metallic ones, which I think will be fun. And granted, you guys don't know this, but I used to make a lot of art, and I was actually like an art student in college until I changed my major, and I was in like an AP program in high school, and I've been in like galleries and stuff. Not like massive galleries, but like I've had shows and all of that. So art has always been a big part of my life. Nowadays, I just keep a sketchbook. I've been keeping a sketchbook since I was 17. I probably have like 20 of them at this point, but I've been getting more into doodling in my sketchbook again and like drawing, and so I'm getting back into my pen era, and so I'm excited to try all of these out. They had an amazing selection. They also had some pens that were like $20 each, which is still insane to me, but these were all like super reasonably priced, so I got a little handful. I'm hoping that they will fit in my new little pen bag, but I'll find out. Okay, and then last but not least, the last bookstore I ended up going to was called the Red Wheelbarrow, and it was beautiful. I loved that store. I think that it actually has like a little kids store, or like a kids bookstore beside it, and they're owned by the same people, but it's just it was a really beautiful store. It was just basically one room, but the whole storefront was windows, and so the lighting in there was incredible. I have never seen, so this book, Heart the Lover, has been on my radar for sure, but I've never seen it in paperback, and so I saw it and I was like, well, that's perfect. All of the other ones I've seen are hardback, and it's actually pretty short. It's like not even 250 pages, so it's a cute little book, and I'm excited to read this one too. So that is the haul. That is everything that I brought back. Luckily, I had enough space in my luggage. A lot of these things were not planned at all. I knew I was gonna buy some books, duh, but I didn't know about the butter, or like I wasn't expecting to buy any clothes or any liquor, to be honest, or the pin bag. The art supplies were kind of on my radar, but anyway, I'm really excited with everything that I got. I try to only buy things that are like local or really special, and so I'm very happy with my haul. Yeah, I'll list all of the stores that I went to below in the description, just in case anyone is curious, but yeah, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll see you guys next week.